All right, so in this lead coding session, we're going to perform the add two numbers task. Um, so in this example, we are giving two non-empty singly linked lists representing two non-negative integers, right? So the digits are stored in reverse order, right? So it's 342, 464, and when we add the two together, we're going to get 807. And each of the nodes contains a single digit. Add the two numbers and return the sum as a linked list. So as we have here. So you may assume that the two numbers do not contain any leading zeros except the number zero itself. Okay, so let's just do a snip of this. And let's copy it to Ziteboard. Okay, so I guess what we're going to do here is, we're going to iterate through these both of these linked lists, right, parallelly, and we're going to add both of these numbers. So 5 plus 2 is going to be equal to 7 with a carry of 0. 6, so we'll traverse using next, right? So it's a singly linked list. Next will bring us on to the next node. And again, we're going to add 6 and 4, which is going to be 10, right? So which is going to be 0 with a carry of 1. And move on again, and it's 4 plus 3 is going to be 7 plus 1. So 7 plus 1, which is equal to 8, right? With the carry and carry of 0. So obviously, if there was a carry of greater than 0 here, we could potentially have, another another answer, another part of our answer, another node as part of our answer. And also then obviously if there was, if one of these had an extra node out here, like say 7, we could potentially, have again another part of an answer out here. We don't have to have the same number of nodes in each linked list. Okay, so um, thinking about how we're going to, solve this, right? So when we iterate over these two nodes right in parallel, we're going to add the two of them, and we want to create, a new node list, right? So we're going to create a new node list with the answer. We're going to create a variable, right, first, which is going to point to this because it's going to be part of our answer. And we're also going to create another variable called prev, and we're going to point prev to this also. Okay, so then we're going to continue on to the next nodes, right? Each node, and we're going to perform that addition. So we're going to get another node with 0, and we are going to have a carry. So another variable called carry. Carry is equal to 1. And we're going to, so we have prev pointing to this. So we're going to go prev.next, right, is equal to our current variable. So we can call this temp, right? So this is going to be prev.next is equal to temp. And then we're going to remove prev from here, and we're going to point prev to this latest node. Okay, so we'll continue on again, and we're going to add up our next two nodes. So 4 plus 3 plus our carry, which is going to be 8. Right? And then we're going to do the same again. So we're going to, so again, we've no carry this time. Carry is equal to 0. We're going to do prev dot, so prev is pointing to here. So prev dot next is going to be equal to this guy. And then we're going to move prev from here to here. And, if there was a carry at this stage, then, we could potentially put, as I said up here, we could have another node, right? Whatever. So what we're going to return then is first, right? So first is going to point to our first entry in our singly linked list, and then obviously the answer can traverse all the way to get the rest of the numbers. All right, so let's see how this is going to look in code. All right, so we've been passed in two list nodes, so we're going to iterate through these, right? So while both of L1 is equal to, not equal to null, or L2 is not equal to null. So, we can potentially one can be equal to null, but we can still be traversing the next one. And then we want to go, okay, if L1 is not equal to null, then we are going to go in here. So we want to create a new node, or we want to get to value, right? So we want to get the number from this node. So let's say num1 is equal to L1 dot val, right? L1 dot val. That's going to get our val, and we want, to, for the next round, we want to move on to the next value of the next node. So L1 dot next, and we need to create a num1 value. So let's just create an int num1 equal to 0. And we want to do the same for L2. So L2 num2. Okay, so we're moving on. Okay, so now we have num1 and we need num2 as well. Okay, so next we need another, we need to add the two of these, right? So we need a total. So total is equal to num1 plus num2. Okay, let's just go back to our solution. So we're going to add the two, and we're going to create a new node. So we're going to go, let's call it list node, call it temp is equal to new list node. And if we look at the constructor, we're just going to pass in a val, right? So the val is going to be total. Okay, so we have that value. And we also said we want to have a first variable pointing at the first node, and we also want to have a prev variable. So we need to create two more list node variables. So let's just copy this, and we're going to put it. Let's put it here. So it's going to be first, and it's going to be first and prev. Prev is equal to null. Okay. So as we said, we're going to create this new node. We're going to point first to it. First should only point to it the first time, and prev will change every time. So if we think about it, we've created a new variable called temp and pointed to here. Prev, if we were here, we would be setting prev.next. So I suppose what we can do is we can go if prev is not equal to null. This is when we're going to set the next, right, from here to here. But when prev is equal to null, it's the first time around. So when prev is equal to null, we're going to set first is equal to temp, first time around. Second time around, we're going to have it to prev.next is equal to temp. So prev.next is equal to temp. Okay, so let's move that on. Okay, so let's see. We're moved on to next and prev.next. Okay, so we need to worry about carry now, right? So when we're adding two numbers, if the number is, so we want to get a single digit. So, if the number is greater than 9, we need to get what the remainder is. And also we need to get what the carry is. So if we create a new variable called single digit is going to be equal to total uh, mod 10, right, which will give us our digit, our full digit, and then carry is total div 10, right? So that's going to give us our carry. So then, it's not going to be our total is not going to be the list node. It's going to be this s digit. So s digit. Okay, so that looks okay. And if we go back to our example, then so we set prev.next is equal to the variable, and then we need to set prev is equal to the variable. So we need to, after we've done this, we need to go prev is equal to temp. Okay. And then we also need to think about, okay, if we've iterated through all of the nodes, right? We iterated through all of the nodes, and say in this example we say we have a carry, right? So we need to, think about how we're going, if there's a carry left over, how we add this last node. So I guess we need to move this in carry outside of the while loop. Right? Carry is equal to 0. And then we need to go outside of the while loop. If carry is greater than 0, then we need to create a new node with the carry. And then we need to set prev dot next is equal to temp. And because this is the last variable, we don't need to set the prev then to temp, because we're not going to be using prev again. So that should suffice. And we're actually going to return, as we said, we're going to return this first variable, which will point to the very first item in a singly linked list. Okay, so let's see, I think we're good. Let's just try this with the example below. See, is there any compilation errors? Okay, we got 707, but was expected 708. Okay, so we forgot to put our carry on here from the previous one. Let's try this again. Okay, it worked. Okay, let's try. So that's that simple test case. Let's try the test case they have given here then. So this is going to be the one where we're going to have a carry, right? So as you can see, that's passed as well. And that's it. And we could try like simple ones where there is no values in the singly linked list. Okay, it has to be. So they've put the condition that it has to be greater than 1. So we can probably just put in a 1, 1, which should give us 2. Okay. So yeah, that's the adding two numbers from a singly linked list solution. So thanks for watching.